Imagine same person, same team saying, hey guys, over the next few years, we want to try to build a business that can be worth 10 times more, and we're all going to work hard to try to do it, and let's work together as a team, but there's no target.
We closed our last deal in December of 21, and I brought my team together. We had sold a piece to a private equity firm in July of 18, and I brought my management team together, and I said, we are going to execute the 1,000-day plan. We're going to lock ourselves in the rooms. We're going to take a look at our business architecture, and we're going to say, okay, what do we need? What things do we need to, what processes do we need in place? What people do we need in place? What things do we need to 10x the value of the business in 1,000 days? Because I can only do something for about 3 years before I get disinterested. So let's get it in that 1,000-day period. And we got it all laid out. We just laid out who's going to do what. Here's what we need. We went with our PE partners and said, okay, here's some capital that we may need in the future and blah, blah, blah. We got it all laid out and we went at it. And I took 20% of the sale profit and put it aside for the management team. And we closed the transaction and had a world-class party at the top of Caesars Palace in Las Vegas on day 996. And I didn't know him at that time. It wasn't a 10x thing. I just happened to say, well, let's 10x it. Why not, right? It's because I went at it the way that I'm describing you how to go at it. Let's get it down on paper. What do we need to do? And if you don't know exactly what to do, ask him. He'll tell you.
And what this really screams to me is why we're so particular about setting your targets. Because imagine same person, same team saying, hey guys, over the next few years, we want to try to build a business that can be worth 10 times more, and we're all going to work hard to try to do it, and let's work together as a team, but there's no target. Then what happens with your team is there's no consolidated feeling of a sense of urgency, immediacy and urgency. And I think what gets your guys' businesses in trouble is when you think, I'll deal with it next week, or hopefully we'll hit our targets next quarter, and being okay with just extending things because it becomes what you're known for within your team. Anytime you can drive a sense of urgency. I interviewed some guys that were doing 500 grand a month when they came to the 360, our 2-day program. And we talked about urgency, and we talked about daily looking at our cash in every single day against our monthly targets, against our annual targets. And the best month they had ever had in the history of their business was $800,000. It was one time, and then it broke the business because they weren't ready to support it. So for 9 or 10 months when they came, they were running at $550,000 average per month. It's been 7 months now, and the last 3 months they hit $1 million, $1.2 million, $1.5 million, because all that compounded. And this is what's happening for many of you. So they went from 550 to 700 to 900 into $1.1 million to $1.2 million, $1.5 million, just because, first of all, they know what they're doing, they know what they're looking at, they know what their new targets are. But when you listen to what their end of the month sounds like, because he says the last 2 days of the month, it doesn't matter even if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that last window, the whole company's in there with AP, AR, scrambling to find bills that we didn't bill out and money, calling clients. We're all as a team calling clients. And they've been doing that now at the end of every month for the last 3 days, which then sets the tone for how to engage every day of the month, because people are like, why wait till the end of the month? Let's do it right now.
By the way, on the plan, the 1,000-day plan, to your point, I knew what January was going to look like in 3 years from the day we wrote the plan. Like, I made it a 3-year plan. January revenue, margin, overhead, and profit is this. And if you kind of steered the business that direction, everybody's got, looking out at that 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, you'll get there. And most of the time we surpassed it. But I know this, had we not written it down, we would not have gotten there. And by the way, on the metrics thing, let me throw this at you. One of the most powerful things I learned through this journey I've been on is run the business by the numbers, right? So it's in the E-Myth book, it's build the process, but it's innovation, orchestration, and quantification is the way he described it. So you have the innovation, let's document it and make it work, and then let's quantify its performance, use metrics, right? And that really worked with me because I'm an air conditioning guy, and I was really good at putting meters and thermometers and gauges on a piece of equipment and making decisions based on those readings. So it really resonated with me fast. So I had built the gauges and thermometers and meters for my business. And that's what I did, is I look at those numbers, and now I know when to tell people what to do and how to do it. Then I evolved to the place where I taught them how to look at the gauges and meters, and they just did it. So I can't stress to you enough, like that's such an important piece, is the metrics of the business, that you know them and you know when the machine's getting off, so you can diagnose the business that quick. One other thing I'll say is this. Another thing that really, really helped me when I was younger in the business was I would just take 30 minutes to an hour every night and go in the QuickBooks, log in it, and just look. I didn't really know accounting, but I could see, well, this doesn't look right. Well, obviously we didn't make money on that job, and I started digging through it and making notes. And once you get the understanding of how the money flows and where it goes, you're making better decisions. It's very important to get into the numbers piece of the business and direct it from that. And now it's gotten to the point where I understand the processes, I understand the overall business systems, the key structures that need to be in the business and the metrics, put the people in place and run it. I think I've gotten to a place now where we can build a business that does not involve me.
Quite interesting. You guys hearing what the future looks like, it's in store for all of you. This is what you're all so focused on every single day, is putting these building blocks. You wouldn't be in a leadership program that you spent all this money for if you weren't serious about leading, and you wouldn't be in this program if you weren't doing our other programs. So now you understand why we constructed the strategic business unit, who goes through your numbers with you every single month and wants to make sure your numbers are clean, they're accurate, they're precise, because we're conditioning you and teaching you to look at the things that matter the most, because if what you don't measure, you can't impact.